guys, welcome back to the Crystalina Perspective. If you're interested in watching today's video, stay tuned. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into today's video. So for today's video, we will be talking about 10 tips on how to successfully excel in nursing school. This can be whether your nursing school is online or in person, but since a lot of our programs are since they're pretty much becoming online programs, these tips will help too. So I'm looking over here because I have everything written down in my Happy Planner, so that way I can focus and tell you guys the tips. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So go ahead, grab you a drink or snack. This video should not be long, and we're gonna jump into it. Today I'm drinking coffee out of my Faith mug. This is a cute mug, guys. I don't know who it's made by, but you need a lot of faith when you doing nursing. So my first tip for excelling in nursing school is positivity. If I have not brought any content ever to YouTube, I always try to bring positivity. When it comes to nursing school, it is no different. You need to have positivity. Why? There are going to be times when you are in the midst of an assignment, when you are studying, when you are doing a lot of things, and you may not be able to be around family or friends or do some of the things that you enjoy doing, but you have to have that positivity. You have to understand and remember why you started. So I always like to tell people, when you get that acceptance letter or when you get ready to start that new semester, already write down, already get in your head that you're gonna write this somewhere, either in a notebook, on a sticky note and stick it somewhere, whatever. But write why you are even doing this, because you're going to need to reflect back to your why. Your why helps you to be positive in those moments when you're feeling like being negative. And y'all know I don't like negative vibes, so you need all the PVOs that you can get. Also, you want to make sure that you write some type of affirmation. I am smart. I can do this. I will be a nurse. I will be, if you want to be specific, your name in LPN or RN. But whatever you need to do to instill positivity from the get that you will be successful in that program, regardless of what is thrown your way. Tip number 2 that I say that you need to have in order to be successful is proper equipment and supplies. So what I recommend doing is going ahead and purchasing things for the year. What I mean by that: pencils, notebooks, pens, as many pens as you can purchase, because you go through a lot of ink, especially if you're doing handwritten notes. If you need a new laptop or a new computer, go ahead and get those things, so that way while you're when you start, you don't have to worry about those things, because you're gonna have a list of other things to worry about. So go ahead and get all of the necessities that you need. If you need to get you a new planner, get you a new planner. If you need to get you an iPad to help with your ebooks, whatever supplies you need. Also, go ahead and get books. Now, my school does not have a requirement on the type of book. We can use ebooks or hardcover physical books. That's what I'm trying to say, physical books. If you are a physical book girl or boy like I am, I'm a physical book chick. I have to have the physical book in my hand. So go ahead, start scoping out where you can rent those books at, or how you can get them for a discounted price. If you're interested in ebooks, there's typically a coupon code through the manufacturer that you can get to save money on your books. But go ahead, get the things that you need, so when you are in school, you can excel and you'll have everything that you need to help you excel. Tip number 3, ask questions. I don't care if school hasn't started. If you have a question about how your clinical rotations are gonna be now that everything is virtual, ask. If you have a question about a class that you've just logged into for Blackboard, ask questions, because there is nothing wrong with asking questions at all. There's no dumb question. There's no stupid question. Ask questions. This is even true when it comes to classwork. If you don't understand a concept or a topic, ask. If you don't understand how they managed to get an answer for a dosage calculation, ask. I ask 5,100 million quadrillion questions, and I'm not ashamed of that. So don't be ashamed to ask questions. That is how you are going to be the most successful in your program, if you ask questions, especially for all my new nursing babes out there that are doing things virtually. Thankfully, my school has been virtually, but your school may not have been virtually. So ask those questions. I understand that we're doing virtual now, but how am I supposed to get all the requirement hours that I need for clinical? Or how am I supposed to do this clinical concept? What are you expecting for me to learn by doing this virtually? Ask questions. Ask. Number 4, I recommend this to everybody that I come in contact with. When you get the enrollment notification that you're enrolled in your course, most times Blackboard or Canvas or any of those platforms will tell you you're now enrolled in blah blah blah, or you can log on and see that you are enrolled. Well, go ahead and write due dates. I love that my school gives us a syllabus section, and they also give us a schedule. Most nursing programs give you a schedule. Even if you're physically going to nursing school, day 1 you're going to get the syllabus and all of those things, your schedule. On that schedule, write out all due dates of your assignments. You can write out these dates on a desktop calendar. When I say desktop calendar, I'm meaning something like this. So mine is pretty plain because I'm not in school, but you can get you a calendar like this, and you can write out all of your due dates. You can write it out in your planner. I write it out everywhere. I put it on my desktop calendar. I put it in my planner. I even put some dates in my phone because I don't want to miss out on no points, and I don't want to miss an assignment. I want to make sure that I have adequate amount of time to study, and I also want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to be successful in nursing school. That is another way on how you're going to get the most success, whether your program is doing virtual education right now or you're going to go back to the classroom. It does not matter. You need to write out all your due dates, so that way you know on Tuesday I have a test, on Wednesday I have a quiz, X, Y, Z. So that way you can set yourself up for the most success. Tip number 5, pencil in how you want to spend your time. Now, they have various planners that you can do this in, but there are also printables that you can use. You don't have to go spend a ton of money on planners or any type of item to use, but pencil in your time. So if you're going to use a printable, you could say, well, okay, today this is my to-do list. From 8 to 10, since my school is virtual, I'm going to log on. I'm going to look at discussion boards, because discussion boards are so I'm gonna look at the discussion board, see what I need to do, go ahead, do my initial post, get that out the way. So that way I have already received 50% of my grade, because a lot of the times discussion boards are based on your participation and how well and adequate you answer the question. So if you go ahead and get that initial post out the way, check, you're done. Then you can pencil in from 10 to 11. I'm gonna take a quick break. You know, I'm gonna rock out to some music. Maybe I'll exercise or something, whatever floats your boat. 11 to 1, you could decide, okay, from this time, I'm going to break it up by hours and I'm gonna study for my next test. So I'm gonna study the areas I'm most weak in. for the first hour, and then that second hour, I'm just gonna do practice questions so I can get this thing moving and grooving. Then you could say from 1 to 2, I'm gonna go ahead and do meal lunch because I had breakfast early or late or whatever. But the point is, pencil out your time, and that way you know how you're spending every hour of your day. You can also pencil in time to spend with family and friends. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna be able to kick it with everybody, but you do want to get into those healthy practices of penciling the time so that way you can spend time with people. That way you know what it is you are doing throughout the day. Tip number 6, navigate your course a few days prior to the official start date. So we all know that people are going virtual, and if you are not virtual, like for example in my program, our courses typically come up 2 to 3 days before school officially start. I take 2 of those days to navigate the course. So I go in, I go ahead and read about my instructor, I look at my class schedule and jot down all my due dates. I'll go ahead and look at my syllabus, get those 2 things printed, my syllabus and schedule, and then I kind of browse around to see what assignments are already up. Okay, they got the first week up or the first 2 weeks. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and print out PowerPoints and those type of things. And then something else that you can do while browsing around in that course, you can kind of get an idea and feel for other people that are in your course. So if you want to connect with somebody, you can go ahead and make those connections. Also, you can utilize that time to go inside of your course and just navigate. See, okay, well, these are all of the things I'm going to be graded on. They're worth X amount of points. I have this amount of points in the course. So, okay, I need to, if I want to get an A, I need to get 350 points out of 400, and that's going to put me at an A. Like, go ahead, navigate the course. Sometimes some courses have additional resources that you can use. I'll go ahead and print those. So a few days before class officially start, just go ahead and preview. Some things you can also get done during that time. So like introductions. Who hates introductions? I do. I hate introductions because I feel like you have to do an introduction in every single class, and it's the opportunity to talk about yourself. I don't like talking about myself. Although on YouTube, it may seem as if I love talking. I have learned that I'm more of an introvert. So I don't like talking about myself. So I'll go ahead the first few days, preview of the course, knock that out the way. So when school start, I don't have to do that intro stuff. All I have to do is comment on my 2 to 3 classmates. Hey, nice to get to know you. Hope we have a bomb semester. Now let's get it. Now, tip number 7, dedicate days to assignments. And what I mean by that is that this is mostly for this can be for anybody, but essentially for my LPNs that are doing LPN to RN or LPN to BSN programs. Dedicate days to your assignments. So if you work on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, you are not doing homework. So what that means is that on Sunday, you're going to have to go ahead and look at discussions for the week if you have a discussion that's due, and do that discussion and have it done by your initial post date, which would typically be a Wednesday. This is for my program. I'm just speaking from experience for my program. But the point I'm trying to make is dedicate a day to get things done. So, okay, on Tuesday, I'm going to do my discussion post, my initial post. I've already been able to kind of get a glimpse and see that there are some entries in the discussion post. So I'm going to go ahead and comment on my classmates. I'm going to read their stuff. I'm going to comment. That's one assignment knocked out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to my lectures, or listen to these 2 lectures today, so that way I can start studying for XYZ concepts and doing practice questions. That way, the next assignment day, I can knock out all these other assignments and watch the rest of the lectures and study. So you want to dedicate days to assignments. Tip number 8, don't get behind. That is as plain, clear as day. Don't get behind. Just don't. That's why I told you all the other things before, so that way you don't get behind. Write dates down. Do what you got to do, but whatever you do, don't get behind. Tip number 9. We are not reading textbooks in 2020. No, sis and bro. We're not doing that. Why? Because, one, reading a textbook does not mean that you can get all the information. Now, some people can read the textbook and, oh my gosh, they know it. But since we are in accelerated nursing programs or we're in virtual programs, we have a lot of stuff to do. So we are going to skim our textbooks. We're going to read the most important things. So charts, tables, graphs, pictures, bolded words, the first few sentences, the last few sentences of sections, summary pages. That is what we're reading. We're not reading the whole chapter word for word. Why? We ain't got time. Why? Because our school is virtual or traditional, and we got a lot of assignments and things to do. So we cannot possibly read the entire textbook and get information. So we're going to skim it. We're going to look for the most important facts. We're going to look for what we need to know about the disease or the disease process. We're going to look to find out and read what we need to do as the nurse and how we need to do it and why we need to do it. Point blank, period. Done. Tip number 10. The final tip is I advise you guys to utilize resources to help you with material. Resources can be anything. Resources can be YouTube. Do you guys not understand how many free YouTube videos there are out there to help you understand a concept? But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to list off a few, and you can choose what works best for you. But you can utilize YouTube to help you understand a concept, Khan Academy. There's also something called Picmonic, which gives you mnemonics and helps you to basically understand the concept in a visual audiographic way that's very creative and fun. Then you can also use other physical resources such as Tribe-RN. They have a ton of resources. They have cards and things as such. I've done a video about that. I'll leave it somewhere up here. You can also utilize Osmosis, which is similar to Picmonic, but it actually uses videos and writes things out. So Osmosis is one that you can use, and you can use other resources of such as the Saunders NCLEX comprehensive textbook or the Saunders Q&A or other various self-help books, study guides that come with textbooks, and a huge variety of resources. There are so many resources. ATI creates a slew of resources if your school does their program. Kaplan have resources. So the point is, we're gonna use resources to help us to understand, utilize the knowledge that we can, so we can maximize our results, so we can be successful in nursing school. Now, that is my top 10 tips and things that I have done to be successful in nursing school this past year. And my program is virtual, it's online. So I have been fairly successful in my program, and I'm very proud of myself for being successful and staying firm in using some of these tips. I hope and pray some of these tips help you today. Y'all, please drop down some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And until our next video. Bye.